Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Hi everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingo. My name is Yaya. One of my favorite festivals is coming up, and I'm pretty sure you guys know it, or have at least heard of it. So let's get started. 端午节, also called the Dragon Boat Festival, happens on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month. This year, it happens to fall on June 15th of the Western calendar. This festival usually will last around 3 days. Duan means upright or directly overhead, and Wu means high noon, where the sun is at the highest peak in the sky. It's no coincidence that this holiday falls around the summer solstice. So in ancient times, Duanwu is a reference to the longest day of the year. Despite being a very old holiday, it wasn't until 2007 that the Dragon Boat Festival became one of China's national holidays. 端午节 is another ancient holiday that can date its history to around 2,000 years ago. Since the story is so old, there are several versions that historians still debate on. The most accepted origin that most people still reference is the death of Qu Yuan. Qu Yuan was a poet as well as a politician of the state of Chu Guo, during the Warring States era. He was very patriotic and loyal to both his state and its king. He dedicated his whole life assisting the king and making the state of Chu stronger. However, other officials became jealous and managed to slander his name. He was accused of treason and exiled. Soon, the state of Chu fell into corruption and began to degrade before being taken over by the Qin Empire, Qin. Hearing the fall of his home, Qu Yuan fell into despair before throwing himself into the Miluo River, Miluojiang, out of sorrow. However, he was a good official and a good person overall when he was alive, so the locals mourned his death. The villagers went out in boats and searched up and down the river for his body, but to no avail. Since they couldn't find his body, they would try to preserve it instead. They threw sticky rice into the waters so that the fish would eat the rice instead of Qu Yuan's body. Thus, the traditions of the Dragon Boat Festival were born. The races that we have today were because of the villagers searching for the body in their boats, and the sticky rice thrown into the river evolved into the zongzi that we eat today. Modern traditions of 端午节 are quite simple: dragon boat racing and eating zongzi. Unlike most traditional Chinese holidays, there isn't as much of a whole setup or ritual that you have to adhere to for this festival. However, this holiday is not just about racing and eating. It is to celebrate patriotism, loyalty, as well as filial piety, just like how Qu Yuan was loyal to his home state. 粽子. There really isn't an English translation for this food. A lot of people do call it sticky rice dumplings or glutinous rice dumplings. And I've also seen people call it Chinese tamales. Different cultures also have their different types of zongzi. Traditional Chinese zongzi are glutinous rice with meat fillings wrapped in bamboo leaves. Sometimes they have salted egg yolks as well. Dessert or sweet zongzi are also a thing, and you can replace savory fillings with sweet ones like red beans. Dragon boat racing, Longchuan or Longzhou. This tradition is said to have started by the villagers rowing their boats in the search of Qu Yuan's body. Like the name states, dragon boats are in the shape of dragons. You can see the head of the dragon in the front and the tail of the dragon in the back. Patterns to imitate scales are seen along the body of the boat. Traditional boats would be hand-carved, but newer modern boats are made from carbon fiber, fiberglass, and other lightweight materials. There are also different types of boat sizes, some as small as 8 meters long fitting 5 people to 19 meters long fitting 42 people. The standard racing boat size is 12 meters long with a crew of 22 people. The roles of dragon boat racing include the drummer, the paddlers, and the steerer. Drummers, the heartbeat of the dragon boat. They beat the drum to indicate the frequency and synchronization of the paddler strokes. Good drummers will synchronize their beat with the leading paddler strokes, not the other way around. Paddlers. The first pair of paddlers are called strokes, timers, or pacers. They are the ones responsible for synchronizing their strokes with one another. It is critical that all paddlers are synchronized for a smooth and consistent pace. Steers. They manipulate the steering oar in the back of the boat as they control the boat's movement and directions. Steers also call the demands for paddlers to better their placement. There are two types of dragon boat racing, the traditional style racing and the flag grab racing. Like the name states, the flag grab race have boats racing to grab flags at the finish line. One member will be responsible for grabbing the flag at the end of the race. Victors only win if the flag is in their hands. The more popular form of dragon boat racing is the traditional style racing. Boats would row towards a finish line and whoever finishes first wins. It is usually a sprint of several hundred meters, but 500 meters is the most common one. Distance of the race can also be determined by the size of the body of water. Another reason we specifically use dragons as the images for our boats is because unlike Western dragons and their association with fire, Chinese dragons are traditionally symbolized with water. Our dragons rule over the rivers, lakes, and seas. They are also said to dominate the clouds and the rain. Thus, dragon boat racing is also a tradition to avert misfortune and to encourage rainfall for prosperity. Again, unlike Western dragons where they're usually portrayed as evil, our Chinese dragons are benevolent. This worship is very important in regards to agriculture. During this time of the summer solstice is when rice seedlings need to be transplanted into the paddy fields for wet rice cultivation. If you guys have ever seen rice paddies in the media, they're filled with water. No rainfall equals no water equals drought. Drought equals famine, so no water, no rice. You guys should know how important rice is to Chinese people. So praying to the dragon deities for water, pretty important. The worship of dragons is actually much older than this holiday, like 6,000 years old. But over time, holidays sometimes just merge together over the millenniums. Some historians even speculate that dragon boat racings didn't originate from the death of Qu, but instead were initially military exercises in the state of Chu, around modern Hubei. These military exercises would take place during the summer solstice, since this is when the river's water levels are at its highest, and possibly over time became a spectator sport. This is quite possible that histories and stories just blended into the myth of Qu. Again, this tradition is old enough that historical amalgamations can happen. No matter what the origins are or what the most accurate story is, we still have the fun and amazing traditions we celebrate now. One of my best memories from when I was young was when my mom took me to a local dragon boat racing event. And it was so cool seeing these boats up close. I was really young though, so I don't remember much. I just remember how much of an impact it made on me. Another reason why I love this holiday so much is definitely food-based. I love eating zongzi. My favorite type are the Taiwanese ones with the shiitake mushrooms and the braised peanuts. And for the longest time, I called this holiday 粽子节, 粽子 Day, instead of 端午节. Not because I couldn't remember the official name, but that was definitely a big part of it. but I was most excited for Zongzi than anything else. If you can, find some local dragon boat races in your area. They're more popular than you think, and it's an event that you definitely want to experience at least once in your lifetime. I have a Teespring if you'd like to support the channel. To celebrate 端午节 and the Dragon Boat Festival, I just released a new shirt design, so cheer for Team Yellowtail as Hama and his crew rose towards the finish line. So please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. What do you guys think? Have you been to a dragon boat race before? What are your favorite types of zongzi? Leave a comment down below because I would like to know. Also, please leave a comment if you can. It really does help out small channels like mine. You can also let me know what topics you would like to see me cover in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingong. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, 再见啦!